Good morning, children. Yesterday we began with a beautiful story Should Wizard Hit Mommy by John Updike from Vistas. And we read that it is a story within a story in which the father, Jack, narrates a story to his daughter, Jo, to make her asleep so that they could complete their household chores. The story is always a slight variation of a basic tale where a small creature, usually named Roger, had some problem and went with it to the wise old owl. The owl told him to go to the wizard, and the wizard performed a magic spell that solved the problem, demanding in payment a number of pennies greater than the number that Roger creature had, but in the same breath directing the animal to a place where the extra pennies could be found. And then Roger was so happy he played many games with the other creatures and went home to his mother just in time to hear the train whistle that brought his daddy home from Boston. And Jack described their supper, and the story was over. The thing was becoming a problematic for him, that is to make the daughter asleep with the help of the story, because now Jo was growing up and she was not sleeping anymore with the stories that were heard by her. Now let's see what happens next. We are on page number 49, children. She has told her father, Jo has told her father that she would like to listen to the story of Roger Skunk today. And as soon as the father came to know that she wants to listen to the story of the skunk, he was excited to make her hear the story because, as it is written here, a new animal they must talk about skunks at nursery school. At the same time, the father was surprised that she was told about the skunk at the nursery school. He had never imagined. Because usually it happens that in the nursery, children are taught about tiger, lion, elephant, or something like that. Having a fresh hero momentarily stirred Jack to creative enthusiasm. This line you have to underline, children, because children, from this lesson, Jack's style of story narrating is very important question that can be asked in the board, and these lines are going to make our answer. So, as soon as he came to know that he has to tell the story of skunk, he got a creative enthusiasm from his side. He became very creative and he started to narrate the story in an interesting manner or enthusiastically. All right, he said, once upon a time in the deep dark woods there was a tiny little creature by the name of Roger Skunk, and he smelled very bad. Yes, Joe said. He smelled so bad that none of the other little woodland creatures would play with him. Joe looked at him solemnly. Now, Joe was very serious at this point. She hadn't foreseen this. Children, nursery school children, they don't understand this point, that how can it be possible that with someone nobody plays, because they are friend with everyone. So if you are going to make a person who is not the part of the class also sit along with them of their own age, they will become friends. So she was very surprised that how can it be possible that Roger Skunk had to live isolated and nobody played with him. Whenever he would go out to play, Jack continued with jest. Jest is again enthusiasm, remembering certain humiliations of his own childhood. So now here the comparison is being made with Jack's own humiliation, how what kind of humiliation and insult he had borne at the time of his own childhood. This comparison is with Roger Skunk. So through Roger Skunk, the character, he is portraying his own emotions, that how he used to feel when he was a child and nobody played with him. All of the other tiny animals would cry, "Oh, here comes Roger's stinky skunk." and they would run away. And Roger Skunk would stand there all alone, and two little round tears would fall from his eyes. The corners of Joe's mouth drooped down and her lower lip bent forward as he traced with a forefinger along the side of her nose the course of one of Roger Skunk's tears. So Joe became very upset and she also started to cry because she could understand that what would a child feel if nobody plays along with him or her. So she also started to cry and see what happens. Won't he see the owl? She asked in a high and faintly roughened voice. Sitting on the bed beside her, Jack felt the covers tug as her legs swished tensely. Children, when she is tensed, she wants to hear what is going to happen next. Jack is very happy because he feels satisfied that she is taking interest in the story. And the other point is that as she already knows that what happens to Roger Skunk next, therefore she raises a question to her father that if he won't see the owl, if he doesn't go to see the owl or if he would not go to see the owl. He was pleased with this moment. He was telling her something true, something she must know and had no wish to hurry on. So Jack was narrating the story lethargically, lazily, and he wanted her to know that what happens to a person if he is humiliated when he is a child. So let's continue. But downstairs a chair scrapped, and he realized he must get down to help Claire paint the living room woodwork. So his wife was busy painting the living room woodwork, the furniture, and he thought that it should be right for him to go down and help her. But on the other side, he wanted to narrate the story to his daughter as he thought that it was very important for her to know whatever he was narrating. Well, he walked along very sadly and came to a very big tree, and in the tip top of the tree was an enormous wise old owl. Good. So Joe is very happy when she hears that now Roger will be able to get the problem solved. Mr. Owl, Roger Skunk said, all of the other little animals run away from me because I smell so bad. So you do, the owl said. Very, very bad. What can I do? Roger Skunk said. And he cried very hard. And he started to cry and cry because he told the owl that nobody played with him because of his foul smell. The wizard, the wizard, Joe shouted and sat right up, and a little golden book spilled from the bit. Now, Joe, Daddy's telling the story. Do you want to tell Daddy the story? So Jack became irritated. Why? No, you may. Then lie down and be sleepy. Her head relapsed onto the pillow and she said, out of your head. So create the story and narrate to me. Well, the owl thought and thought. At last he said, why don't you go see the wizard? Daddy, what? Are magic spells real? This was a new phase. Just this last month, a reality phase. Reality phase means children, as the children grow up, they learn new things while they are growing. So this point, what is real thing, what are unreal things, that she had learned only the last month. When he told her spiders eat bugs, she turned to her mother and asked, do they really? So it was the first time when she spoke about reality. And when Claire told her God was in the sky and all around them, she turned to her father and insisted with a sly yet eager smile, is he really? So this was the second time. And now she was asking the third time about real. They are real in the stories. Jack answered curtly, sharply. She had made him miss a beat in the narrative. This line you have to underline, children. This is very important. Why this is important? Because as I told you before also, that why he got irritated when she raised questions to him in between. Because whenever she is raising question, Jack is losing a beat in the narrative, losing the continuity in the story, and he forgets what to speak next. The owl said, "Go through the dark woods, under the apple trees, into the swamp, over the creek." What's a creek? She asked. So, whatever she doesn't know, she immediately asked her father. And what that suggests that she was taking interest in the story and listening to the story very carefully. A little river over the creek, and there will be the wizard's house. And that's the way Roger Skunk went. And pretty soon he came to a little white house and he rapped on the door. Jack rapped on the windowsill. So he also rapped on the window pane, to create something reality in the story for her imagination. And under the covers, Joe's tall figure clenched. So she was moving under the bed cover because she was excited in an infantile thrill. She was excited as she was a small child. And then a tiny little old man came out with a long white beard and pointed blue hat and said, what's this? What you want? You smell awful. So he asked Roger Skunk that you smell very bad. What do you want? Why have you come to my house? The wizard's voice was one of the Jack's own favorite effects. So whenever he spoke like a wizard, it was very impressive. He did it by scrunching up his face and somehow winning through his eyes. So he used to create expressions of wizard on his face by scrunching up his face and by winning through the eyes, which felt for the interval roomy. It was a little exerting also for him. He felt being an old man suited him. So, as he was an old man, it suited also because wizards are usually old. I know it, Roger Skunk said, and all the little animals ran away from me. The enormous wise owl said, "You could help me." Ah, well, maybe. Come on in. Don't get too close. Why? Because you are smelling very awful. Now, inside Joe, there were all these magic things. All these magic things means all the magical things that are used by a wizard. All jumbled together means they were kept in a heap, in a collection, in a big dusty heap. Dusty heap, as we have the collection and on them the dust collects in the storehouses, storerooms especially, because the wizard did not have a cleaning lady, any cleaning lady. So wizard was not married, and according to Jack, the women of the house, they are the cleaning ladies. And so his house was, wizard's house was very dirty. Till here we are going to